Hello everybody. Welcome back to a new year. It's now 2021. Welcome back to a new video, but more importantly, welcome back to a new series that we're launching today on the channel. This series is called Spec Check Reviews, and the gist of the series is we're going to look at the specification sheet from factory and decide whether it's a good car, bad car, performance car, and just kind of get an overall feel from the car from its spec sheet. Now, if that sounds something like you'd be interested in watching, please stay tuned. Then please press that subscribe button and stay tuned to this video. Spec Check Reviews. So from the thumbnail then and the title of the video, you probably guessed the first car we're going to discuss is the MK1 Ford Focus ST170. The ST170 was released in January 2002 and it had just under a 3-year lifespan, and it was discontinued in December 2004. Now, I've always had a soft spot for these MK1 Focuses. Don't let my personal thoughts on the car cloud our judgment, and we'll decide from its spec sheet whether or not this car is a good car, a bad car, and to go down as in history as a bit of a forgotten hero. And did it really live up to its full expectations, or was it overshadowed by its big brother, the RS? As the name alludes to, the car came with 170 brake horsepower from factory. It weighed 1208 kilograms, giving it a to weight ratio of 143 brake horsepower per tonne. Yeah, this also gave it a 0 to 60 time of 7.9 seconds and onto a top speed of 134 miles an hour. So when people talk about great hatchbacks of the early 2000s, it's very rare that a MK1 Focus ST170 comes up in conversation. Argued that it was overshadowed by things like the EP3 Type R Civic. Now, one of the reasons that this car isn't brought up in conversation, because at the time it was felt that 170 brake horsepower wasn't really going to be a match for the current market, with the EP3 kicking out around 200 and the Focus RS kicking out over 200. It was felt that this car was a little bit underpowered for the time. At the time of release, the Focus did receive a lot of praise for its chassis. I've driven quite a few MK1 Focuses, however I've never driven an ST. Or the chassis on a MK1 Focus is arguably one of the best chassis of its time, and something that surprised me when looking into the ST170 was that it actually came with a 6-speed manual gearbox from factory. I know in modern terms a 6-speed manual gearbox is kind of the norm. Pretty much every car these days out of factory comes with a 6-speed manual gearbox, but back in 2002 there wasn't that many cars out there on the market that featured a 6-speed manual gearbox. The EP3 Civic Type R, one of the main rivals, and I featured one, but there weren't many out there. The Clio 172, another rival for the Focus, didn't feature one, had a 5-speed manual. The Focus ST170's older brother, the RS, featured a 5-speed manual. Now, something else that Ford offered with the Focus ST was that it came in 3 different body types. So the Civic Type R, I think I'm right in saying you can only get the Civic Type R as a 3-door hatchback. Same with a Clio 172. However, with Ford, with the Focus, you could buy it as a 3-door hatchback or a 5-door hatchback, or, and people were confused at the time, an estate. You could buy a Focus ST170 estate. Now, these cars, the estate cars, are actually quite rare. Now, options wise, the car didn't come with too many options. Climate control, things like that were optional extras. But another rare option that I don't think was ticked very often was you could get these cars with full Recaro leather seats. Now, I've looked at these cars, I've done some research for this video, and I can't find many that are out there for sale with these Recaro. So the body and the overall looks of the Focus ST, well, they didn't really differ too much from a standard Ford Focus. So They came with different front fog lights. The front bumper was slightly different. I think the rear bumper was slightly different. But overall, if you didn't know what you were looking at, it generally did just look like another Ford Focus. To me, that's quite appealing. I like the sleeper look. I like that it'll sneak past you in traffic and you don't really know. So I did quite like that about the Focus ST170. The Focus ST170 didn't do was sell in mass volumes, mass figures. Now, there wasn't hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of these cars sold, although there was a lot of MK1 Focuses sold. The ST170 model wasn't a car that kind of took off and sold in the thousands. Probably was, definitely was, overshadowed by the RS. So that pretty much sums up the ST170. This video might be all over the place because it was difficult to find information about the car because, well, I guess they just weren't that popular. They weren't built in thousands, as we've already said. They were and they are quite a rare car. I'll link all the articles that I've used to gather my information for in the description below. This is the first one of these Spec Check reviews, so it might not be that long, it might be all over the place, but hopefully as we grow and as we kind of use these videos, we'll get a little bit better at them. So thanks very much for watching. If you've watched it this far, why not press that subscribe button, ping a like for this video, and we will see you on the next one.